Hello and welcome to a Sloppy Memes video essay. I'll be your host, Zed. Let's jump right in, shall we? And that is on the hot topic of Bob Vylan's chant of "Death, Death to the IDF" at the Glastonbury Festival. The recent controversy of Bob Vylan's protest against the genocide in Gaza and his willingness to use the language of a violent punk has sparked widespread controversy and has already cost the group, who are now the subject of a criminal investigation in England and have had their U.S. visas revoked by the Trump administration, leading to all their U.S. tour dates being canceled. Many of the European festivals the duo were set to play out have shit-canned them as well. Just like students who have spoken out against the war in America and been deported, having bravery on this issue comes at a major cost. Let's take a listen to what he said.
So look, we're not pacifist punks here over at Bob Vylan Enterprises. We're not pacifist punks. We are the violent punks, because sometimes you've got to get your message across with violence, because that is the only language that some people speak, unfortunately. This next song, we want to dedicate it to every single band that is using their platform to speak up to for the Palestinian people and speak against the crimes that Israel, the UK, and the US, and much of the Western world are complicit in. So this is for all of you, like this is for Murder Capital, this is for Kneecap, this is for Ammo and the Snifflers. Every single band out there using their platform to speak up for the Palestinian people. Because we must pray, hope, and wish to see a day where the Palestinian people are liberated and free from the tyranny of the Israeli government. Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! Free Palestine each and every single time this is pretty songs.
Now, those are some powerful words, and what makes the neocons so upset by this is that there is a large audience receptive to his message. As I said before, there have been some major repercussions for the group so far. The British Parliament have already met to discuss punishing them for their speech, and the BBC for airing the concert. Defenders of Bob Vylan have been quick to ask the question, why is there so much outrage over provocative words, but a lack of outrage over the atrocities in Gaza? For example, families sleep together in the same room, so if an IDF bomb drops, they will all be killed at once, and no one will have to survive alone. Currently, there is mass starvation because of a blockade of food trucks. Instead, Israel have their own food program where they lure people out with the promise of food distribution, and then when hungry people show up, the IDF shoot them instead. Another consequence for the group is they are the subject of relentless smear jobs by online and TV media. Let's first take a look at an especially odious one by the liars at the right-wing cable channel Sky News, and then see clips from other fascist media.
And the orgy of hate and hysteria celebrated by a massive crowd of lefty simpletons. Here is some rapper and anti-British, anti-West Islamist supporting miscreant, part of a duo called Bob Vylan. And watch as this rapper mocks Brits who want their country back. Same idiot crowd were happy to join in with genocidal chants about killing Israelis and ending the only Jewish state.
Find ourselves and what that vile lowlife Bob Vylan is it, or I didn't give a damn. This is what he chanted on stage, and this is what went out on the BBC, and this man should have been arrested right there and then. Play it, Ames.
Down, get a hold of yourself.
Stewardess, please let me handle this. Calm down now, get back to your seat. I'll take care of this. Calm down. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Got up in advance of a band called Kneecap, which has, of course, gone out and campaigned against Israel and talked about how evil Israel is. and he decided that he was just going to call for the death of IDF soldiers.
Of course,
and
what
also,
you're referring to is the tweet from our Deputy Secretary of State, Christopher Landau, that the State Department has revoked the U.S. visas for the members of the Bob Vylan band in light of their hateful tirade at Glastonbury, including leading the crowd in death chants. Foreigners who glorify violence and hatred are not welcome visitors to our country.
People who are being arrested for memes, for showing up at protests, right? For supporting Brexit. This guy can go out there, say, from the river to the sea, which is, no matter which way you slice it, advocating genocide. If you want to say that it's not, just use a different slogan. From the river to the sea has already been commandeered by genocidal maniacs. Just, you don't get to use it. But it's not applied equally. That's the problem. And what is that designed to do? It's designed to create a culture of fear where you're afraid to speak out.
Sky News tried to paint Bob Vylan as a radical anti-Semitic hate group, and anyone who is against genocide is a lefty simpleton. In regard to the song about how you can't have your country back, he is singing from the point of view of minorities in England who don't think they should have to move out just because of the rise in racist anti-immigrant sentiment in England, a sentiment that led to Brexit. The next clip showed how unhinged right-wingers want to clamp down on all free speech with the immediate arrest of anyone who speaks out against Israel. Ben Shapiro just doesn't get why people would think bombing innocent families is evil, and Steven Crowder is a tricky liar because he does correctly identify how England does not have a First Amendment and so-called hate speech laws have been used against anti-establishment conservatives. But then he says this is not applied equally to people who speak out against Israel. This is false. What is now called the woke right are using the liberal idea of hate speech laws and using it against leftists by labeling all criticism of Israel as hate speech. But aside from the controversy, who are these lads, and when the group aren't giving political speeches, are they any good? First of all, the name of the group is Bob Vylan, with each of the members having stage names, Bobby Vylan on vocals and guitars and Bobby Vylan on drums. So if you called the lead singer Bob Vylan or you called the duo Bob Vylan, you would be correct either way. The stage names are to protect their anonymity in what they see as a surveillance state, although the chances of them getting doxxed are high now, seeing that they are on the bad side of Israel's intelligence agency, the Mossad. They have released one EP and 3 full-length albums. Let's go over them briefly. The first is 2019's Dread EP, which is a rough entry of spirited tracks. There's much fun to be had on this 15-minute-long collection of 8 2-minute songs that they released independently, but it was the 2021 album We Live Here where the group found its voice and perfected its sound. This album features 2 tracks, We Live Here and I Heard You Want Your Country Back, that are songs right-wing media like to quote the most from the band as evidence they are the enemies of white nationalism. And to be fair, right-wingers are right on this point. The band are, in fact, the enemies of white nationalism. The album speaks about the civil unrest in England and Bobby Vylan's personal anger living in this landscape. Musically, the album is smooth, well-produced, clear in its message, and filled with hard rock bangers as direct and clear as anything put out by Rage Against the Machine in their prime.
Give it the big and round town. Have a drink and puff your chest out. Not a racist, you're just proud. Why should you be left out? The fairies get a march and the Nignogs get a month. We've got the right to vote. I mean, what more could we want? Free to go where I like. If I look like I belong. If not, fuck off. Go on, boy, move along. Remember Stephen Lawrence? He too was free to roam. 18 years old at the bus stop, murdered on his way home. We didn't appear right there. We live here.
The third release, 2022's Bob Vylan Presents the Price of Life, continues the themes of We Live Here with more dynamic songwriting and infectious groove guitar, best exemplified by the on-fire tracks He Sold Guns, Wicked and Bad, and Pretty Songs. He also develops his skills as an intricate grime rapper with Jamaican beats, but it's the hard rock songs where he most shines with his aggressive message of rebellion.
I met a man on my travels. He sold guns for a living. A 1200 a pop for a clean one. He was making a killing. Anything to feed the family. Money children. I said it's hard times in the city. He said it's hard times everywhere. That's why I keep my 3/5 with me. Let them try me if they dare. Said he's aiming at your chest. He's not aiming it in the air. Flash flood the whole block when he pulls it. Have it raining everywhere. Take a look at this place. It's a fucking mess. Take a look at this place. It's a fucking mess.
Their 2024 album, Humble as the Sun, mixes in songs with more positive messages of personal fulfillment and success, like the soaring organ-driven title track and the rocking duet with Amel and the Sniffers in the shout and repeat number Dream Big. But again, he crushes it with another deep guitar groove in Makes Me Violent, which is an anthem for anyone struggling with a physical reaction to the injustices of contemporary society.
To put the smile upon my face. I can't keep up with all the lies it creates. And it might have written the name, but trust there ain't nothing great. It makes me violent. So violent. Please, no violence. No violence. No violence today. Put your weapons away. I often feel my life is crushed and destroyed. For a reason this should love me when I'm touching the scores. Turn your toes up and don't panic for my cause. But someday soon there'll be no one to fight but yours. It makes me violent. So violent. Oh, please, no violent.
Wow, praise Zardoz, because that performance made my underpants all jizzy. Together, these albums are a fantastic body of work for a band who are at the forefront of a new crop of radicalized political rock, pop, indie, and hip-hop artists like Macklemore, Chappelle Roan, Kneecap, Amel, and the Sniffers, Jade, Wolf Alice, and many more who are speaking out against economic oppression, right-wing extremism, the flaccidness of liberals who have proven to be the enemies of leftism, and most importantly, the evils of Western foreign policy, best exemplified by, but hardly limited to, the genocide in Gaza. And it's amazing the popular support for this band. In fact, if you tried to buy a t-shirt from their official merch site, you were out of luck. Either their server was overloaded by the massive traffic, or it got hacked by those tricksters at the Mossad. Thank you so much for taking this deep dive into the scintillating Bob Vylan. Nuff said.
The mighty Zardoz thanks you for watching this video and now commands you to like, comment, and subscribe. You are my loyal subjects and must obey. I also command you to visit sloppymemes.com and watch the next video linked. Zardoz has spoken.